different roles that you can play.
Yeah,
to
so what
fit
you're
in
looking
there.
at is, you know, something. It's an introduction to all the different life classes that we're going to get to in a little bit.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll
There's
get
much
to
to
it.
talk about.
But it's just the baseline is that this game is all about choice. I mean, that's really what it is. It's about choice in everything that you do. And so let's go ahead and
all right, let's jump right
us
into
in.
the customization.
Nice.
All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a character and jump into a brand new life. Customization, like you said, this is your life.
Yep.
So everything down to how your character looks to what they do for a living,
Yep.
it's all up to you. And there's just a whole variety of things you can do. I mean, I've played several different files, and every life has been completely
It's
different.
completely different, and you know, I
None
mean,
are the same.
you say that for a lot of games. I mean, people like to talk
This
about
is
like open
really-
worlds or choices a lot, but this is really one of those things that
Let's see.
you know, it's true. I've put in, I don't even know, probably upwards of 200 hours into this game so far.
Oh, easily.
And it's still like I'm not, you know, I haven't beaten it. There's really like that doesn't really exist, that option. You know, to finish everything, you're gonna spend your fantasy life doing it essentially.
And you're not going to want to race
Exactly.
through finishing it because there's so much here where you want to
There's
kind
so
of just
much
run around
to
and
do.
explore,
There
and
really
is.
maybe you spend a
Exactly.
while away from the main storyline entirely because you're just having a blast exploring
You
the
totally
town
could.
or
See, I'm going to
training
race
up your
through
life.
here real quick, but I mean, there are
You see
so many
Audrey going
options.
through the-
You can mess with your eyebrows, your nose, just all kinds of
yourself a
different
scar.
things. I'm just going to...
You can make yourself, you know, anything.
I could give myself a
from-
mustache, but I'm going to
There
go
you
the
go. I like a
non-mustache
blonde
route this
mustache.
time.
That's
It's
awesome.
pretty cute. I'm tempted, but
But
I'm going to
you
go
see-
no.
The customization runs the gamut from just
trainers too.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
love some of the trainers
different
that you get as
life
going through these lives.
masters throughout that each one has their own unique storyline.
And their own
you can
personality.
follow.
Like,
Totally,
I love,
yeah.
in the middle of a life, you can actually switch to a different life, and you'll keep all of your skills. But when you meet the new new life masters, they all have such different and distinct personalities.
Totally.
It's like, it's such a full and vibrant world full of all these different characters. It's just
That's-
wonderful to explore.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that, you know, obviously level 5 does a great job, you know, like you said, of sort of injecting charm and, you know, just imbuing these things with such a wonderful nature about them. And that was something that we worked really hard in the Treehouse to, you know, capture, to be able to replicate that for the Americas in English and other languages as well. But this is really... it's really the world level 5 has created is really something special. And you know, I just want to speak to something real quick that you just mentioned about you know, picking the life classes. A lot of times in an RPG or in a JRPG, you know, you choose a class and everybody sort of has their own. You already kind of know what kind of person you are, you know, and what sort of class or style you gravitate towards. And so here you see, you know, the opening, you know, you saw these 12 different life classes.
Oh, and
you see the trees that you might want to exploit as resources. You see the fish that you might have to use as a cook later on.
these beautiful shiny clumps of ore.
Yeah,
Just look so
you want them.
tempting.
They
Oh,
look
yes.
so tasty.
Yeah.
But one of the things is that you are not punished for changing life classes. In fact, like
No,
the game sort of
exactly.
really does a good job of encouraging
I mean,
you
that's
to
cool. It's like,
explore
because
all of
for
those.
anyone who loves RPGs, and RPGs are like my bread
That's
and
my
butter,
home,
I
yeah.
love
Yeah,
them.
it really
But
is.
like, it has all those traditional RPG elements, but it's really evolved because you're not stuck to one life system.
Right.
You're not stuck to not stuck to one class. Like, it really is your life. So if you learn, say, the woodcutting skill,
Right.
like, you take that with you. Even if you switch classes, you're not
Right.
going to forget all the things that you've already learned.
Let's jump into after we have this is our butterfly. You're gonna
I love butterflies.
you're gonna
so much.
really this is gonna be your
Yeah,
side
and I
kick
want to make a
throughout,
quick
yeah.
note that I'm dashing through all of this text real quick, but all of the text is just for the purpose of the demo, because all of this text is so charming and funny. I will literally laugh my head off just reading it.
That's
it's just
awesome.
you're not gonna be able to bring yourself to skip past it when you're playing, because it's all just so funny and charming.
That's awesome.
And there's
so
quite a
hear.
volume of it here as well, because I know
There's quite a
working
bit
on
of
the
text,
localization,
Yeah,
this is a
this
big
game-
game when it comes to text.
I mean, the reality is that if you transpose, I mean, we crunched the numbers, and if you transpose all the text in this game over into prose, it would be the equivalent of about a 21,000-page novel. I mean,
That's a lot of
it's
writing
Quite a lot.
huge. So, good luck getting through this in your typical 16 hours, guys. You know, I mean, it's just not going to happen.
Oh, and Butterfly's
Um,
my favorite.
Butterfly's awesome.
Yes.
Butterfly's awesome, and you know you're gonna get to know Butterfly a lot. You guys are gonna grow together.
Exactly.
It really is, and it's one of those things. It's like you said, like having the sort of typical. This game really has the standard skeleton of an RPG that people come to expect from a or even a JRPG that people need in a game like this.
Exactly.
But it's really. I think evolved is a good word for what it is.
Yeah, it feels so fresh, and yet at the same time, it's still that RPG goodness that we all grew up loving so much. Like it's an RPG with elements of Animal Crossing, with elements of Zelda, with just all kinds of things pushed together.
I played this. Everything was still in Japanese, and so it was definitely like one of those things. I was like, oh, the boss just turned into a box. Well, he must still be alive in the box. Let me just
that's where
destroy
my
the box.
treasure's hiding.
The same thing happened to me. I was like, ooh, box destroyed.
Right, exactly. I was
and
like,
then I was like,
don't
oh.
do that.
And then I talked to someone who told me about bounties. I was like, oh, I destroyed like 3 bounties.
It's
oh.
like, yeah, you just made it so you can't cash that in for a bunch of bonus items. Good job.
Oh, and here we can
Exactly.
see some of the ore.
Yeah, and so
on
check
screen
this
there.
out. It's like, I'm in this area. It's a very open world, obviously, but I'm in this area, and I'm not a miner, so I can't access any of this stuff. But I've got, don't get me wrong, I got stuff to do in this area. Like I got lizards to destroy.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna have to come back at some point as a miner. I'm gonna have to remember that all this is here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a little special something
Exactly.
here.
Well, I mean,
Bam!
That's the cool thing
nice.
about this game is I was running around for a long time as just a paladin before I had switched to my second life class, and by now I've had on my main file I've had 6 different life classes. I'm addicted to switching. But I noticed I was collecting all of these things, like all these little different items, and I had nothing to do with them. So eventually I was like, well, I want to do something cool with these, and so I switched to an alchemist, and there are all kinds of things to collect. And if you want to do
really
something
are.
with them, and you will, then you have to try all the different life classes.
And I mean that's the thing. It's like we've been saying that this is pretty much a completionist's dream
or
/
nightmare.
basically, because you can really get caught up in everything.
I know. I go overboard because I can't pass up a tree without apples. I'm gonna get the apples. I can't pass up an
Right,
enemy,
right.
even like a
I
cute
need-
little sheep. I'm like, oh, you're sleeping.
You have to
slash,
die.
Slash. I'm sorry. You might have an item.
You know what? I really need this dandelion fluff right
yeah,
now.
exactly.
So
I don't have enough
gotta get
dandelion
that.
fluff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab this.
That's good. I mean, cute monster, but not.
I love this.
And this is Vulcan.
game.
And so I'm gonna craft some stuff as a blacksmith.
That's so cool. So all the crafting classes have sort of a little mini game involved with the crafting.
And it can actually affect the quality of what
Oh,
you
it totally
create.
does.
Exactly.
yeah.
Like if you mess up, like the first time I wasn't expecting there to be sort of a mini game involved. So when I was making my first, alchemy project, I was just sitting there.
Part
And it
of
just
the
makes you feel like you're really doing it.
It's
It's
an awesome
like
change-up.
it's like fishing. Like when I
Yeah.
switched to the angler class, I was like, oh, I want to get. I switched because this cat asked me for some fish. I was like, I can't say no to a
You-
cat.
you
You
don't
just
turn the
can't
cat
say no to
down,
the
yeah.
kitties. They're so cute. And so I learned to be an angler, and then you have to have the little game where you have to press A at the right moment when the fish bites, and then you have to reel it in, but you have to make sure the tension doesn't get too tight, and you have to don't do it too fast, don't do it too
Right.
slow, and it's an art,
It
to all
really
of these
is.
crafts.
It's
really
a craft.
fun.
And this is the thing, you see, like I've got a bunch of plains iron here, and so I'm turning those into iron ingots, which then I'll be able to use for